All right, let's pull back the curtain on the hidden financial engine that keeps our entire world moving. It's called supply chain finance, and it is the invisible force that makes sure the stuff you buy actually gets from the factory floor across the world and into your hands. Let's jump in.
It sounds crazy, right? A company is making a ton of profit, their books look great, and then suddenly they're out of business? How is that even possible? Well, the answer has almost nothing to do with profit. It's all about cash, and that one little difference is what we're going to unpack today.
You see, at the very heart of every single business deal, there's this natural tension, a kind of financial tug-of-war that absolutely has to be solved.
Okay, so let's meet the players in this little drama. First up, you've got the vendor. These are the folks making the parts, the raw materials. Then you have the anchor. This is the big, well-known company that puts it all together. Think of a huge car manufacturer. And finally, there's the dealer, the storefront that sells the final product to you and me. Now, they all need each other to survive, but when it comes to money, their goals are completely opposite.
And here it is, the big standoff. The seller, our vendor, is basically yelling, I need to get paid right now. I've got payroll, I have to buy more materials. But on the other side, the buyer, the dealer, is saying, hang on a second, I can't pay you until I actually sell this car. Give me some time. And this tension, if you don't solve it, can bring the whole system to a grinding halt.
So, how do you fix this? Let's tackle the first half of the problem. How do we get the seller the cash they desperately need?
The solution has a kind of fancy name, vendor bill discounting. But don't let that fool you. The idea is incredibly simple. A vendor has an invoice, which is really just a fancy IOU from that big anchor company. They can take that IOU to a bank and basically sell it for cash today minus a small fee.
This is the perfect way to think about it. You did the work, you're going to get paid, but your rent is due now, not in 3 months. So you go to a friend and say, hey, I'll give you 2 rupees if you give me 98 right now. It's a win-win. In the business world, the bank is your helpful friend, and that reliable client is the big anchor company. So let's trace the money. Step 1, the vendor delivers their parts and sends the bill. Now, step 2 is the absolute key. The big anchor company looks at the invoice and officially says, yep, this is good, we'll pay it. That approval is like gold. With that approved invoice, the vendor goes to the bank. The bank immediately pays the vendor, say, 98% of the cash. And then, way down the road on the actual due date, the anchor company just pays the full amount straight to the bank. And just like that, the vendor got their money months ago and is already making the next batch of goods. Problem solved.
Okay, so our seller's happy, they got their cash. But what about the other side of that standoff? What about the buyer, the dealer, who needed more time to pay in the first place? Well, we need to power them up too.
This is where something called dealer finance comes into play. You can think of it like a special credit line or a store card that a dealer can only use to buy products from that one specific anchor company. It's all about giving them the firepower to load up on inventory.
The car showroom is a classic example, and it makes perfect sense. The owner of that dealership doesn't have millions of dollars in a checking account ready to go. So a bank steps in and pays the car manufacturer, the anchor, directly. This lets the showroom fill up the entire lot with brand new cars all ready for customers to come and buy.
And the process here is just as elegant. First, the dealer tells the anchor, I want 50 cars. Then, and this is huge for the anchor, the bank immediately pays the anchor for all 50 cars, right then and there. The anchor loves this. They get their money instantly. Then, the anchor ships the cars to the dealer. And finally, over the next few months, as the dealer sells those cars, they pay back the bank, plus some interest. See? Everybody gets exactly what they need.
So we've got these 2 powerful tools, right? Vendor discounting and dealer finance. They're solving different problems for different people, but they're working inside the very same chain. Let's put them head to head.
So what's the real goal of each of these? Well, for vendor discounting, it's pretty obvious. It's all about getting cash into the vendor's hands so they can operate. But dealer finance? Here's the twist. Its main purpose is actually to help the anchor sell more stuff by making it super easy for their dealers to buy from them.
Okay, this table right here, this is your cheat sheet. This is where it all clicks. Let's run through it. First, who's the primary beneficiary? With vendor discounting, it's the vendor, hands down. With dealer finance, both the anchor and the dealer get a huge benefit. Now, who gets the money from the bank? In the first case, it's the vendor, who gets that crucial early payment. But in the second, it's the anchor who gets the instant cash. And finally, who pays the interest or the fee? Well, in vendor discounting, the vendor pays a small price for getting their money early. In dealer finance, it's the dealer who pays interest on their loan. They are 2 sides of the same coin. So when you put these two pillars together, something really powerful happens. You create a system where all that financial friction just disappears. Money and goods can finally flow freely.
You know, there's a really simple way to sum all this up, and I absolutely love it. One tool helps you make the product by freeing up cash at the beginning. The other tool helps you push the product out into the world by financing the end of the chain. Make and push. It's that simple.
And at the end of the day, that is the whole point. By solving the cash problem for both the little guy making the parts and the local shop selling the finished product, you create a supply chain that's fast, efficient, and strong. The whole system just works better.
So the next time you pick up your phone or start your car or open a can of soda, take a second to think about the incredible, invisible financial journey it went on to get to you. Because chances are, this dual engine of supply chain finance was humming away in the background, making it all happen. What other amazing systems are working just out of sight to bring us the world we live in?